Welcome back to Pale Horse Outdoors. So if you've been following the channel in the last year, you might remember me talking about the pond every now and then. I'm sitting in the pond right now. This fills up with water every winter, and the water gets at its deepest, it gets about a foot high. My wife suggested that we make a new trail that just skirts this bank here and goes basically along what we called the pond trail back over here, over to the trail that connects the ancient forest to the enchanted forest, which is right over there. If you watched my video a couple of videos ago about making the wildlife habitats, it'll connect over to there. There are some pretty ancient stumps that are in the way. Now, I went through there yesterday and just kind of walked through and cleared out a couple of the branches that I know are going to get in the way early on. And I found the stumps, and I kicked them with my foot, and one of them just kind of caved in, and the other one was fairly strong. So once I get to that point, I may need to go get my stump bucket and remove both of them, or at least one of those. I'm about to get started here. What I did to make life a lot easier on me is put everything I could possibly need to cut trails other than my tractor and implements, put everything on my big tool rack and brought it out here and just dumped it in an area that's not going to be in the way. Because like I said before, the trail is going to be going through over there. Anyway, let's get started. All right, so the first thing I got to do is clear the path, and there's, I don't know how well you can see it here, but there's a fair amount of deadfall here, some limbs and things. So I got two choices here. One's to pull forward, reach over and pull it back. The other is to use the grapple kind of like a bulldozer. I'm going to start with that, because I want to see what's down there. It's a little more difficult doing it pushing, because if you catch roots, you really have to be careful when you're pushing forward, because they can tip your tractor. Anyway, I'm just gonna take it easy and see what's down there. A root, so I'm gonna have to back it out. Yep. So I'm not going to be able to use float. Not going to be able to use float, because when there's a root, and when I use float, it drops it too deep. If I don't use float, then I can skim over the top easier anyway. post right there is just barely in the ground. I just put it there yesterday so I wouldn't forget where the post was. It was just laying on the ground. So knocking that over is no big deal. We've kind of gotten over the hump here. Getting that first little bit out of there so we can see what we're doing. Of course, this would be a lot easier if I didn't have a 5-foot rake on the back, but I'm gonna need it in a minute. I suppose I could drop it, but I'm not. Again, I want to see let's do a little different configuration with the grapple. Let's put it in battering ram and just take it real easy. Again, this is not in float because I need to be able to raise and lower it as necessary. So I really don't know how well you guys saw it before, but it's already smooth. I'm not smooth, but cleared out really well actually. It's nice and wide. I can see where I'm going and I can see any pitfalls. So right now, if you follow my hand, we're going to go around in between these two trees right here, and right when we get to that big cedar right there, that's where the first two big stumps are. So let's see where we can go. Now, it's not as flat as it looks either. It's actually angled down this way because it banks down to the pond. And although it looks fairly flat, and it really is, especially if you're walking through there, once you get on this tractor, and I'm sitting what, almost 3 feet off the ground, it can get a little hairy in there. If I'm having too much trouble getting around that corner with the grapple and the rake on, I will likely drop the rake and just use the grapple. I would rather use the grapple instead of the rake because the grapple is like a big hand, and I can scrape, but I can also pick it up and move it away. If I used only the rake, it would work, but I would have to back in, and once I got big lumps, I would have to drag it, and manually do a lot of work, which I'm not all about. I've got a tractor. That's what this is for. All right, let's just move on. So I know I'm on a root or something because it keeps grabbing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp down, but I'm not going to raise the grapple that much because it can tilt the tractor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the grapple fairly low, and I'm going to see if I can back out and just either rip it apart or pull it out. And it may do neither, but this is, in my opinion, the safest way to do this, other than getting off and cutting it out. Be a little difficult to get through there. And that's where the stumps are. Once this is all constructed, getting through those two trees at the end of the day is going to be easy. Right now it's not, because it's undulating, and when you're trying to make a tight corner with a grapple and a 5-foot rake on the back on those bumps and valleys and everything, it can get a little hairy. So I may have to drop the rake so I can clean it out up to that stump and evaluate what I'm gonna need to do there. So yeah, I think I'm gonna drop the rake. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to be notified when I release new videos, please hit the subscribe button and click the bell. There is no cost to subscribe. It is totally free and you can help my channel grow. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.